that definition of freedom to do what you want at any time that you want. Just feel free without any type of restriction. I don't think this is the way how a human in this world is learning to grow. There is derived from the ancient teachings a saying, there is no progress, there is no development without restriction. And this means sometimes you need to have somebody telling you what you are supposed to do. Even if you feel like sleeping until like 10, 11 o'clock, well, it's not good to do. It's wake up, do your disciplined structure, and then learn to just do things which are not based on your own sense of comfort. But this sense of comfort is not helpful when it comes to developing yourself. Shaolin practices, especially when it comes to children, it is still a playful way, because you're using the body, it's fun at some point, you like to do the things, but at the same time it's a healthy way to start to understand that this lifetime is not just about roses and butterflies. Sometimes you are meeting situations that you have to face and that you have to go through, meaning you're gonna meet conflict. At one or another point, you're gonna meet the feeling of having competition. And the martial art, the Shaolin practices, for example, I think is a very healthy way to already get used to. If you fail at one competition, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means practice more. It's not just the physicality that is so interesting about this tradition, about these practices. It is especially the question, how does all this physicality, all this practicing of using the body, how does it eventually translate into your mindset, translate into what type of character are you? Do you have patience? Do you have discipline? Do you have willpower? This is the question. Because when we go to school, there are subjects that we are learning. Mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry. But every human being has something. We have something inside of us. Some people, you would say, they have discipline. Other people, they don't have it. Some people have gratefulness. Other people don't have it. Some people have a natural sense of respect. Other people don't have it. So the question is it coincidence that you are born with respect or that you are born with discipline? Or is these character traits something that need to be and can be developed inside the human being? Because if you are disciplined, you're going to have this discipline because it's part of your character. You're going to carry it on for whatever you are doing. Going to school, going to university, having your first job, building up your own company, doesn't matter what it is. This is that interesting part, what all of these Shaolin practices, what it is about. It is about figuring out what is the core of you as a human being that you can develop, and then afterwards, what you are doing with this core really doesn't matter. Some people make a professional life in sports, other people make a profession by being an entrepreneur, other people, they stay employed, other people build houses. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, along the way of creating something in this lifetime, there are some helpful human character traits or mindsets that I think they need development. And the question is now how to develop them. From my observation and sensing into myself, the more you're used or getting used to something, the more habits actually you are starting to develop. So we humans are beings of habit. The question is, if 20 years long you lived a type of life where there was not a lot of discipline involved, you can still develop it, of course, in the 21st years and onwards. But before that, we have to somehow balance out these 20 years of your habit of being undisciplined. What it means is, the older you get, the more habits you already have, the more difficult it will become to change any of them. This is why starting as early as possible is the easiest way to program yourself, condition yourself in the right direction of what type of habits, what type of thinking patterns you would like to develop in yourself. But the other truth is also, it depends on the openness of the mind eventually. everything on the openness of yourself. So if somebody is 50 years old, but he is still open to life. Open to life means you actually realize about yourself that you know nothing about this lifetime. You have 50 years of human life, yeah, but 50 years is 50 years, yeah. So it really depends on how open are you staying throughout your journey in this lifetime. If you always take care of staying open, there is no limit in terms of how much and how much more are you able to develop yourself. The more limited, the more restricted, the more closed you are, the more you think you are perfect, the less you're gonna change. Sometimes when people are starting to study or starting to get involved into any type of ancient practices or ancient teachings, like Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, just as an example, these ancient philosophies were developed in a different culture. It's not the Western culture where all of these things were developed. So of course it means that the language, the words, the pictures that are being transmitted are based on the culture for what it was developed. Here in the Western, very often you want proof and you want to have science as the one that is the truth. People believe numbers, people believe the science and all of this. And therefore, one very important thing, if you believe in science, then you maybe just listen right now what the scientists maybe say about their observations about this universe, which means that all the matter, everything that we humans see, the planets, the stars, the galaxies, what we see is 0.1% of what is there.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? So what does it mean? It means 99.9%, or let's say the majority of existence, you don't see. So how can you as a human being say you know anything?